Hello everyone, today's construction day 182.
Boy, do I need a haircut. There's no time for that right now. You guys can only imagine how busy we are. I mean, there's still some of those big ticket items we need to get. We were going to get the oven today, and we decided just to load up another load of our stuff from the townhome and bring it up to the site. So we did that instead, and we'll probably end up getting the stove tomorrow. So much going on. Remember, we're moving in Saturday. Today's Tuesday. So a lot of little projects going on. Today's updates will show you everything that's happening. A lot of moving parts. We got to the work site today, and guess what? No power again. So how has that happened? I mean, 180 days of construction and 2 brownouts. So that's 90 days between brownouts. And now after 180 days, 2 for 2. So I just don't get it. I mean, it has to be someone here knowing that I'm moving in. So generator's not ready. Maybe we need to get it ready. But the good news is we got here on site at 8 o'clock, and by 9 o'clock, the power was on. So we've been good all day. A lot of things happening at once. We're going from job task to job task. J Marketing is here with the screens. We got more sand and gravel. The guys are starting to complete the pool and then transitioning over to get the cement poured for the dirty kitchen. The foreman is working on the granite, polishing the granite today, so I'll show you that. Wilma and I tackled the one of the bedrooms with touch-ups, so that got knocked out. We unloaded another load of belongings.
There's no more room in that spare room.
No
more.
There is no more room. So it's packed full. So definitely trying to juggle quite a few balls at one time. So we also got a call late last night. We left the work site about 6 p.m. Guys left at 5. We were sweeping up and just locking up the house, and we're coming down the mountain, and I'm like, boy, another long day. I'm looking forward to getting on the couch. And the phone rang, and it was Robinson Appliance.
Yes.
And said, hey, just so you know, today's the last day for the promo for the television that you put on hold. So you have 2 options. Just wait for the new price to come out in March, or come get it for the sale price. So I was like, do I want to go to Dumagetti at 6 p.m.? For those of you who know Dumagetti, between 4 and 6,
it's bad.
The traffic is just worse. Now, traffic is rough all day, but it's just really bad 4 to 6. So Wilma and I was in our work attire. I had paint all over my hands because I decided not to clean up. Decided wait till I get home. Off to Robinson we went. Had to hit the ATM for some pesos, and we got the TV. So the TV's up at the townhome. So that was one of the 4 big ticket items, and then the generator was the other one. So we're down to the refrigerator and the stove. So down to 2 big ticket items. We'll probably get the stove tomorrow, and then the refrigerator. We can kind of take our time just because we have one, just a smaller one that's going to be used for the dirty kitchen that we can just put in the main kitchen temporarily. So it's no real rush. We'll try to catch a sale, and we'll go from there, because at this point, guys, with the budget, every peso counts. Contractor was back on site today, going through items, just making sure that everything's going in order. So we can definitely see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can only tell you, and you've heard this before, we're starting to run on fumes, right? It's harder to get up in the morning. Alarm's going off at 6:30. As you guys know, if you send in comments, I'm a night guy with comments. So anywhere from midnight to 3 a.m., I'm doing comments. and then I usually sleep from like 3 to 6, 3 to 7. But we've moved the alarm up from 7 to 6:30 just to get a head start on the day. And I'm going to be honest with you, you know, doing this and doing that, it's harder to get up in the morning.
It's getting harder and harder.
Yeah, it seems like we got to stretch out in the morning because we're stiff. Boy, we can't wait for this build to get done. And I think it has to do with the 30-minute ride. Remember, you know, we got a 30-minute drive to the work site and a 30-minute drive back. And sometimes that 30-minute drive back ends up being 40, 45 just because of traffic. It's according to what time we hit, especially with schools letting out and things like that. And sometimes the schools let out late. You know, you think you have it timed at 5 o'clock and you go by at 6 o'clock and maybe there was something going on and it's just as busy as it was at 5 o'clock. So it's like you can't time it perfect. But we're here by the Kubo. There was so much noise with grinding and the guys hammering. We figured we'd come up here to the Kubo where we've done many of our updates. We're trying to get out of the wind, so we're actually behind the Kubo because it was too windy. We did 2 or 3 takes and we said, you know, it's just going to be just too windy. So we went ahead and we're hiding behind the concrete wall of the Kubo. So let's get up to the work site and show you guys what's going on. Day 182, and we can say the pool is basically complete. So what do you think? Thumbs up? And she's wearing a mask. I'm very happy. They've been on site forever.
Dust everywhere.
There's dust everywhere because they're grinding the granite, doing the bullnose. And that's creating a ton of dust. So Wilma's been walking around on a mask, so very proud to see her wear the mask. But day 182, and we can officially say now the floor is grouted as well. So they got 3 of the guys out doing other things, but they left 2 guys behind. And what they're doing is Disco there, he's going around and he's just cleaning. Finding anywhere you can just see a little bit of grout residue. They're going around and cleaning that up. Then the foreman is going around and he's making up some more small batches of the grout and waterproofer. And he's basically going around to the bullnose. So take a look. See how great the bullnose looks? And that's because he's going around and just making sure he does the sanding for the most part. But see how he's just going around just putting some additional grout with the waterproofer in it just to make sure it's smooth. Look at the steps. Now the steps I didn't even notice was not grouted yesterday. I said only the floor had to be done, and I was wrong. They had to grout the steps, so they did that today. So that still needs to be cleaned up, but it's all grouted. And we really do like the look, the 2 color tone, and then especially with the white grout with the blue tile. So still a ton of cleanup, but definitely we're very, very pleased. So now the 3 jets that are on this wall here needs to be put in. The overflow valve in case the water gets full. They ran a pipe underground out to the rock wall to drop off any overflow. All that needs to be put in, and then of course we got to get the pump together with the sand filter. So that's next. But they're just working on today. I'll take the zoom out. Working on today doing some massive cleanup. So I'll have to talk to the foreman to talk about how long this is going to take to get this all finalized and cleaned up, and then talk about installation of the pool pump, and then of course filling of the pool. And we're going to have to do some calculation of how long that's going to take. So what I think I'm going to do is ask Jernell to bring his water line down so we can have 2 municipal lines going in, and it'll just fill up twice as quick, and I just pay his water bill for the month. So stay tuned for that. All right, so they got another 4 cubics of gravel and 4 cubics of sand. And they're gonna order more cement this afternoon, but quite a few bags there. It's about 30-40 bags. So tomorrow they're gonna start pouring the cement for the dirty kitchen. But before I go back there, J Marketing came today and they're installing the screens. So they're working on the 3 screens across the front, as well as the 2 smaller screens for the 2 bathrooms. So they're in, and now they're working on the screens here. We went with the screens on the outside, a lot of debate, but we're gonna go with the screens on the outside. And then later down the road, if we change to move them on the inside, which I do not think we'll do, then we'll just call J Marketing and then they'll come out. And of course, that'll be a charge because they're gonna have to move all the panels. But you know, we looked at it, made the decision to go with the screens on the outside, and that's the decision that we went with. We'll let it go for a couple months and see how it is to clean them as compared to having them on the inside, which, you know, we're going to be looking, you know, out from inside the house, and I don't want the screens to be staring at us from the inside. So that's a decision that we made today. So they took 2 guys from the pool and put them to paint the main beam. So they set up their scaffolding. They got their palm sander up there. So they're starting to knock down any rough edges from the skim coat, make it all perfect and smooth. And then over the next couple of days, they're going to be putting a couple coats of paint all on the large beam. So tomorrow they're going to start pouring the cement here in the dirty kitchen. So obviously we're going to start all the way here in the back. And you can see the string line that they're already working. So the cement line will be up to here, and we'll cover this whole area. And then whatever is showing here, they'll just put cement and then skim coat it. But they're going to work on that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to measure this out and come up with proper squares to put snap lines and then trowel so it looks like tile. So we haven't measured it yet, but what we'll do is we'll probably end up just taking this, divide by 4, and then whatever that comes to, we'll create squares, and they'll do like a tic-tac-toe as I understand it. The contractor was here today and explained it to me. And it serves 2 purposes. One, it makes the concrete look nicer because it's a pattern instead of just flat concrete. And then it also doubles as some joint lines for possible cracks. So we're going to do that tomorrow, and then we're going to come over top of this with a cement concrete epoxy to seal it all in. All right, so no jackhammers here. So what they have here is they have to clean up the transition from the back wall to where the concrete's going to be. So where it's cement, they're not having too hard of trouble. And you can see over here, it's pretty clean. So they want to make this square. But what they did is they hit a rock. So there's a rock there that they just can't get out. You can see they've been working on it for a while. There's some cement mixed in as well. But take a look at that. So they got to get that down because the cement will be poured there after they put in the, you know, all the stuff they put in the stone and the rebar. So you can see how high it's going to be. You see the nail? This is how high the cement will be once poured. So you can see they definitely got to take all this cement / stone out. So what they're doing basically is they have a drill and they're just drilling holes to try to break it up a little bit. And then they just have a chisel and a hammer and they're just going away at it. So they've been working on this now, geez, it's got to be 2 or 3 hours. But they got to get this cleaned up by tomorrow because they want to pour this first thing in the morning. All right, so PD is the foreman slash plumber slash electrician, and he's also a granite specialist. So he's working on the bullnose now. So it's at the early stages. So he's going with different levels of grit. So you can see he's starting to round it out, and it's creating a lot of dust. But he's just working it little by little. He has different types of wheels, different types of stone, different grit. He has a couple here. He has an open jet as it gets finer and finer. So this is a coarse one. This feels a little softer. So he's just basically going from a heavy grit that really takes off material. As you can see, the dust that it's creating. And he's just going all the way around, and he has to move it from time to time so he gets the overhang. So he can work it over here. But he's starting to soften the corners a little bit. And as he goes from finer to finer, you can see that it's getting shinier and shinier, starting to look like the top. So it's a lot of work. He's been at it for several hours, but that's the process. There's different grit wheels, and he's just working it a little at a time. So once he gets this all complete, then next up will be cutting the hole for the sink. You can also see that they put up the range hood today, so that got completed. Got a couple filters underneath, and we got to get down to Dumageddon to pick up the stove. Hopefully we could do that tomorrow morning.